afternoon, everyone. It's story time. I'm here to tell you a story about a personal journey and a passion of mine. I was born, yes, we're going to start from the time when I was born. So I was born in a small city in Egypt in the middle of the Nile Delta called Mahalla, and my parents, a teacher and engineer, sent me to a small private school because that was the best education available in that small city at that time. Now, in that environment, like other kids, I had access to different sources of information to learn from, both human, my parents, my teachers, family members, and non-human, TV, radio, textbooks, some storybooks, unfortunately not enough books. In 1986, my parents decided to move to Saudi Arabia, and all of a sudden, the number of sources of information I had access to was cut down almost by half. There were only two TV channels, one in Arabic and one in English. Absolutely almost no radio programs dedicated to children. A schooling system that didn't offer any extracurricular activities for girls, no family members around, and definitely less books. 10 years later, I went back to the small city in Egypt for college, and something really amazing happened. I had access, unlimited access, to the college library. More books, a wider variety of books, and a lot more information. Now, up till that moment in my life, all the access I had to useful information that I could learn from as a passionate learner was limited to the place that I was living in. A great change happened in 2000 when I moved to a bigger city in Egypt, Alexandria, to start my teaching career. Right next to my house was an internet cafe. For 2 years, I spent hours at this cyber cafe, something my mom thought was highly inappropriate for a girl in her 20s at that time in Egypt, but I couldn't resist. I was having too much fun. I was meeting people from all over the world discussing religion, politics, and cultures I never even heard of. And it was always happening instantaneously. Something that books, which I still loved very much, didn't offer. I was talking with folks who lived thousands of miles away, overcoming barriers of distance and time. It just seemed like a dream. Little did I know, I have taken my first steps towards lifelong learning. Days passed by and there were more opportunities to learn online, read, and so on. And I had moved to Dubai. Internet became affordable and available, and I was hired by the Institute of Applied Technology, a school that encourages using technology in the classroom. Great! They gave me a laptop, Wi-Fi access for free, a smart board, and a data projector. But wait a minute, I had to stop and think. As a teacher, I was not prepared for this. I was not trained to use these tools in the classroom. I had no clue how to create meaningful learning experiences for my students using these tools. I wanted to know what others in the same situation were doing, not only in my skill community, but all over the world. So I did what I knew how to do in order to find information. I Googled. That was all I knew. So the process was mostly at random. It was disorganized. I did find some useful websites, but my attempts were naive. I would bookmark useful websites on my computer, keep them to myself, occasionally share a link or two with my colleagues through email, but that was all. One thing I realized for sure is that there were so many like-minded educators out there experiencing what I was experiencing, and they were started to talk about it and share it online for free. The real transformation happened in 2008 when I joined an MA program in educational technology because I wanted to learn more. I was fascinated by the technology. I wanted to know how to use it in my classroom. And during one of the sessions where we exchanged ideas as students at Michigan State, I came to learn about the concept of building personal learning networks. And what an aha moment it was. That makes sense. I am not the only teacher who was not prepared for this during her studies at college, graduating in 1999. I am not the only teacher faced with the challenge of knowledge being redefined and information doubling by the minute, professional development not even close to keeping up with the pace. I also realized that professional development leaders are no longer the sole messengers of new ideas and good practices. Everybody is, and they are talking about it as it happens in their classroom every day, online, for free. Now that I knew what I had to do, I had to get down to work. It wasn't a naive, disorganized process anymore, guided by some articles on building PLNs and some models such as Alec Course's visual representation of the networked teacher. I started to build my PLN. And I can't claim that it was an easy or flawless process, but it was working. There were times when I was too busy with my daily life that I couldn't spend time investing in growing my network, but every time I added a new blog to my RSS aggregator, followed someone that I shared an interest with on Twitter, liked a Facebook page, or joined a link community, my PLN grew organically multiple times, because one learning path led to another. So a tweet about a free course by a nonprofit organization took me to a global classroom. I learned with 500 people about podcasting for free online. And all it really took me to build this network was simply the willingness to learn. And this is where I forget what I should say next. I believe that my PLN empowers me because I choose when to learn, how to learn, and where to learn, and who to learn with. I personalize my professional development in this way. And I think it's a powerful way for teachers to personalize their professional development, especially at a time where educational institutions are bringing in new frameworks, curriculum, and technology, but at the same time cutting down PD funding. There are a lot of tools to build a PLN, but no one needs to start with all these tools at once. Sharing, learning, discovering is at the heart of the process, one step at a time. I believe that building a personal learning network made me a better teacher and helped me grow, because this network channels information into meaningful channels to me. I also believe that PLNs are the way for teachers to grow personally and professionally and to be effective at a time where we need to prepare 21st century learners with skills such as being digital citizens, finding, evaluating information for research, communicating online, making the right choices when it comes to being safe on the internet. We need to experience this ourselves. The way to bring the present to the future is to become self-directed, lifelong learners and active members of online learning communities ourselves. A great way to do it is building PLNs. Thank you very much.